I played so many of the events back in Warband, but never really gave Bannerlord multiplayer its time of day. So I thought I'd join one of the biggest multiplayer events out there, the BRE event. This is a fully modded server with fully modded textures and assets, and my god does it look gorgeous. Hundreds of players fighting in a pitched battle, in clans, in regiments and detachments. This is the biggest battle in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Oh, and co-commentated by Chadtopia.
This looks absolutely beautiful. I've never seen all these custom armors before. I'm loving it.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good, I have to say. I mean, you know, striking shield banners, you know, the banners and the armor on the soldiers and on the cavalry, and some of these plumes on the top of the leaders' hats are just stunning to look at. We're going to see a really good event here, I think. I mean, we got 210 versus 196 players. Basically, what you're talking about is a massive punch-up coming very, very soon.
This looks absolutely glorious with everyone coming out of the spawns with all their different coloured shields. So who's playing today? What clans we got going on?
Well, I mean, we've got a combination of BRE, who are the hosts, of course. We've got BDC in here, KOH, and Host, and CL, and Almo as well, and plenty of people. And, of course, a large majority of the team on one side will be BRE, but you can see now the cavalry starting to move around.
Yeah, the BDCT archers have actually started firing as well.
Now you can see also over on one side here and building up by the rocks. You can see them starting to build up a shield wall, ready to make the most of the advantage, and also to protect the archers on those rocks. And you can see them already resonant starting to move in.
Yeah, so we have on top of these rocks the SVCI. They're all with their lovely red archers using their rocks to peek over, firing down at the lines. They have the height advantage, which might help them a little bit in terms of archers. I don't know. Are they pushing now? It looks like it.
It does look that way. I mean, you can see the shield wall slowly pushing towards the other shield wall, supported by the archers, and you can see BRE, the red section over on the far left-hand side. You can see they've got flags by them as well. And now you can see them pushing up towards the shield wall on the rocks. This is going to force a situation where the archers will have to essentially cheese it. But you can see a green detachment of BRE being very sneaky, going around the side with a bit of speary fun for the archers, and the archers are being forced to back off, and the melee on the top of the rock has begun, with other forces getting involved as well, trying to essentially wipe out everybody on that rock, Resonant.
Yeah, so there is a severe amount of brawling. It seems like most of the lines have been completely dissolved at this point. Everybody is going at it. Oh my god, there's fighting going on in the forest. This is the absolute chaos that you warned me of. It is crazy. Looks like the BRE and their attackers have managed to push back the people that were sitting on the rocks. They seem to have got the upper hands. There's a detachment of BRE and white that look like their Vanguard unit that are doing a fantastic job of making the push, and it looks like it's getting close to being all over. It doesn't look like this is going to go on for much longer. There's a last stand going up on one of the rocks right now with the Almo up there, but there's just a tidal wave of BRE coming forward. I mean, I didn't know what to expect with this event, but I didn't realize the round would be that bloody and that brutal so fast.
Yeah.
I didn't even see what happened with the cavalry. It just all happened instantaneously, and then the cavalry's just mopping up a few of the rest now, actually.
Yeah, it tends to happen quite a lot like that. It's over before you know it. You have to have eyes everywhere to be aware of what's going on. So yeah, it's
it looks like it's all over now. It's pretty much the BRE are the last survivors. There's a few holders on the other team, but yeah, that looks like round one to Bretoni. Good job to them. Okay, so we are in the second round now. The Bretoni are kind of forming up in their own way, similar to before. I don't know if they should change their tactics at all, really. They did a fantastic job. Although, it was the side of the coalition that picked the battleground last time, and it looks like they're going to a different area right in the middle. It's an open plane now, no rocks. They've decided against the rock plan. What do you think of the rock plan? Do you think using terrain like that normally works well, or does it depend on the army build-up, do you think?
It depends, really. I mean, if you're doing a shield wall before rocks kind of creates a problem, because you've got your back to the rocks and you can't pull back if you need to. But also for archers, it's helpful because they can just peek over the top of the rock and fire. It's the equivalent of a tank firing with hull down, you know, so it's more difficult for them to hit. So yeah, it depends on the strategy that you're going for. Sometimes the archers can't stand being behind the shield wall for too long before it's a problem that they need to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going for more of a skirmish route this time. We've got 2 shield walls that are forming parallel to each other, looking very beautiful, I might add, and the archers are now taking a bit more time to get some shots off, where last time, I mean, the forming of the shield walls was very close to one another, so the brawl started very quickly. There looks to be a cavalry skirmish going on behind. People are getting couch lanced. That was absolutely brutal. Brutal. Oh my god, I've just watched a man with his horse's head taken off. Oh, he's dressed in pink, but it looked like he's covered in red now. That's awful. Okay, well, the infantry lines are heading in towards each other. The right side has clashed first. There's a naked man that is Griffin from Bretonnia. He's gone in there on his own with just a short sword and, well, mostly nakedness. Inexperience, I think they're kind of the ones that you actually have to look out for, because they're always the ones that have confidence for a reason, unless they're just stupid. Okay.
Well, the good news is I'm back in.
Okay, so. Brilliant. Chadman is back with us. He's managed to see this battle go absolutely crazy. Who have you spotted within the fray at the moment?
Well, I'm currently looking at Pio, who's a member of SRVN and more, basically also host as well, and he's looking around with a nice axe to chop the head off somebody. But basically you can see they're breaking out into sections.
Yes.
And the problem is when they break out into sections, that also makes them vulnerable to the horse attack. And horses are making very good work of that. But you can also see some of these guys get their backs to the wall, so to speak, get the spears out and basically offer a nice spiky defense to the cavalry coming through. As soon as the cavalry gets down, they're literally immediately jumped upon and stabbed there, which is kind of the sort of thing you'd expect in this sort of game. But at the moment, you can a shout out to the banner holders who are still holding their banners despite being attacked from multiple directions. It's kind of what people don't expect a medieval battle would actually be like. It's a complete mess.
Yeah, I mean, mess is definitely a great word for it, but in the most bloody and beautiful way. I just watched Ma, who had a nice poleaxe and a leopard print shoulder pauldron, just get absolutely taken down by one of the Brie guys. It was great. He had a last stand going and he was beating up a load of guys, and then all of a sudden he was slaughtered from behind. But it looks like they're starting to form up in the middle now. I guess that's because there's a few left to be cleared away.
Oh, there we have it. Wow.
2 to
so yeah, another successful battle for the Bretonnie, and we shall move on to the next round. And we are back on the next round. So after the carnage and bloodletting of the previous round, we are returning to everybody spawning in and causing my machine to lag out. Yay. So you can see basically they're going to be getting in. They're going to be getting their armor together, sorting out all their various regiments, and then moving out to the battlefield ready to go.
Why do you think it is that the coalition is actually struggling at this point? What do you think that they could do better to try and take out this Bretonnia? Because they seem to be doing a pretty good job of holding these rounds.
Well, I think from that point of view, I think the problem is they get broken apart too easily and then susceptible to the cavalry. If they can have maybe more spear troops to provide anti-cavalry support, that might be a better situation for them.
I agree. I think the coalition's cavalry is a group of one squad cavalry. Don't know who it is. They seem to all have the name hosts on them, which is interesting. I didn't realize that was a clan, but they are charging in way ahead of the rest of their army, which is an interesting decision. But it looks like Brie have gone on top of the hill this time. They've picked the battleground, which is new. That's nice. I wonder how that's going to go for them, because if they're going to go more defensive, that might actually fare them pretty well, because obviously they have, well, more people in the same clan, which is going to help with communication and tying the enemy down and flanking and things like that. So this might be their chance with this high ground up here.
Obi-Wan had the high ground. It helps in some cases. it can obviously depend on whether or not they've got eyes in the back of the head, because people will be coming at them from all directions. So it's, you know, you may have the high ground, but not for long.
Indeed, and I think as Anakin found out, hubris plays a massive part when it comes to fighting someone on the high ground. The coalition have to fight very carefully here because, of course, Bree and the rest of their lads are going to definitely have the advantage when it comes to archery. They've got some really cool looking ranges as well. I love the outfits on them, and it's going to be easier for them to shoot downhill, or at least judge that distance. But there's some cavalry coming around the left flank. I'm not sure how far they're planning on going around. I've not actually seen the cavalry for Bree's side. Where are... Oh, okay. Yep, they are now coming to meet them. It looks like we're going to start off with a cavalry battle with flares and everything. You're right. I cannot even attempt to pronounce any of these names, Chad. I don't even know if I want to try. I might just embarrass myself.
Well, it couldn't do any worse than I do, so give it a go.
Hubert de Gascogne.
Complete with the stereotypical accent.
Oh no, quick, get in there.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the cavalry battle is going quite interestingly. It's very hard to keep track of who's who. However, there have been very few kills, surprisingly, for the amount of people that are skirmishing here. But it looks like Bree are getting the upper hand on there, and the front lines have pushed in. They're going to be overwhelmed, I think, on their left flank, unless they start to get a bit more help, which it looks like they do by the guys with the castle shields. High towers, maybe? Who knows? But I would stay away from them if I were you. The blue shielded Vikingmen are getting surrounded, which I don't think is going to be advantageous for their life expectancy, if I'm going to be 100% with you. But there's still a front line that's holding very, very well here, which is surprising for a game like this. Most of the time, we've just seen a split apart, and the front lines have been very tricky to hold. So maybe, I don't know, Chad, maybe that's a decision that they've come to try and win this round.
Yeah, I mean, it's these guys basically can vary up all the tactics that they want to do. You know, try one tactic, doesn't work, try another tactic, see if it works, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's whether or not they learn from it. But you can see, obviously, the main melee area here, I'm not seeing a huge amount of spear troops around, but they're breaking up into their various sort of areas with the cavalry sort of charging through the middle, trying to pick people off as they go, particularly any of the sort of outliers to the edges, especially the archers as well. The archers are just pouring fire into the melee crush, and it's just, yeah, it's just getting messy. You can see they've broken apart into sort of two concentric groups. One a very small group that the cavalry seem to be paying particular attention to, and yeah, they're not doing well. With Bardin, as he looks like he's trying to defend himself from this final marauding cavalryman who then charges back into the main fray. But I think this is the problem. I mean, you look at the cavalry numbers have been massively pared down by these guys. They've done a really good job of finishing off the cavalry, but maybe not enough to make a difference, Resonant.
Indeed, and I've just found the man with the cup on his head.
Let's move on to the next round. And we are back, hopefully for a full round this time, but you never know if the computer gods will allow me such a thing. And with the BRE currently leading 3-0 against their opponents. So, the coalition have it all to do. The Brittany are in a comfortable position. Let's hope they don't rest on their laurels for too long. But we're moving out, and we're seeing here is the banner. I love the way the banners are just leading the way. Space from BD there, member of NATO, which obviously, yeah, they started early, what can we say? And BDCT here with a shield wall, providing the shield cover to the archers who are supporting. And you can see now they're starting to take fire into the BRE shield wall, now forming up. You can see by the black and white banner with the yellow edges. And you can see, look at the way there's the wall from BRE moving in sideways as well to basically close up the wall as they're now being fired at from multiple directions.
Well, everybody seems to be just absolutely getting surrounded right now. It looks like the CL are moving in pretty rough. They are going for the first announcement on the BRE. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go, though, because they're pretty stuck on their own. And actually, both sides of the coalition have decided to go on a full enrobement of the BRE army. However, the BRE are starting to form up again. They've got that archers in the middle, and they've kind of formed a nice circular... no, it's broken up. It was all nice for a second, and then it's completely broken up into many different pieces. The cavalry seems to be less impactful in this round, though. I don't know where they've gone. There must be a oh, the cavalry's actually behind the rest over here. They're coming in for a charge, and it looks like it's not been too effective because there have been more spears that have been engaged. Now, looking at numbers, it's still pretty unclear. It looks like the BRE are still, yeah, they've still got the advantage in numbers now. Nothing that the coalition are doing seems to be working. Do you think it's just a matter of skill? Do you think there's anything they can actually do in this case?
It's difficult because obviously BRE, they're all of the same plan. They're very well organised. They're very well drilled. It could be a case of just strategy as opposed to, and just maybe individual numbers or organisation. Obviously, you know, certain troops fare better against other troops, you know, swordsmen's troops against axes, all that kind of stuff. The shields and the shield walls definitely help. But, you know, the archers definitely do prove to be a difference in the kind of battle. I mean, you just have to look back at that historically from the Battle of Cressy, how influential archers are on medieval combat.
I think I've just seen a man get beheaded. I actually don't know if this would be allowed on YouTube. I think we need to put this on a different website. That was the most brutal kill that I've ever seen. And the BRE are now just wiping the floor. It doesn't even seem like this round was all that close. It's just a slaughter. And there we go. It's done. That's 4 to the BRE. 4, Chad. 4. So we are back with our 5th round. It is currently 4-0 to the BRE. Nothing seems to be going well for the coalition. I know Chad's really enjoyed watching this game. He's, you know, seen a lot of the fighting. In what you've seen of the fighting, what have your thoughts been so far, mate?
Well, I definitely think to say that the clan crash report has definitely, I would say, spent most of its time drawing my attention, is all I'm saying.
Right, okay.
Go team crash report.
Good. I'm sure they had some great skill on the battlefield. I'm sure it's very interesting to watch. Do you know who doesn't have skill on the battlefield? The coalition. I'm going to be honest. And this may be brutal to say. Buck up your ideas, guys. This is embarrassing. This is a washout. It's a walkover. Look, you might have big axes and big helmets with fur on it, but you've embarrassed yourself. You've got egg on your face. You should be doing better than this. BDCT, look, stands for... it stands for can't win.
Oh, I think that's a little unfair. I mean, you know.
No, I know you're the nice commentator, but you know what? Let's just be honest here, mate. They're a shambles. They're all over the place. They're Tottenham. They've bottled it. I don't know what to say. Oh, my words. There is a turn of events. Have you seen this at the back of the BRE? They've dismounted their horses.
Oh, wow. That shows confidence. I mean, you know, they are 4-0 ahead, but... and look at the archers poking out the side as these shield walls make them well... I mean, just look at the way that they're moving towards each other. Just looks amazing. And you've got groups down the side trying to sneak around the side just to get a little bit of sneaky action, but you've also got guys... And there, the shield wall, you can see breaking, attacking, moving in. Now they start to finish off as many of those archers as they possibly can. As you can see, the BRE archers in the green cloaks come sliding round the side to try and get some action in on the side of the melee crush. And they're doing some action there, but unfortunately, the members of the coalition are sort of spread out. Oh, look at that, the cavalry! Oh, wow. Look at that, the cavalry come charging in as Flag C has been captured by the enemy team. So now you can see the cavalry moving in from the SRVN. I can see with those nasty pole arms on the front, looking to skewer as many members of the BRE as they possibly can. So the BRE don't have all the advantage I think they would want as all these random horses wander off. But plenty of spare horses should they get dehorsed. But at the moment, it's It's looking quite interesting as far as the coalition is concerned. But whether or not BRE can hold them off, as my phone is going off on me, lovely, perfect timing. But it's just, yeah, I mean, you can see them sort of breaking up into various groups. Then as soon as they start having the melee and they break for attack for the melee, it becomes almost literally a man-on-man situation. You fight with the nearest person. If you win, then you move on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the BDCT archers are proving to be incredibly effective in this. They've now just been chased off the hill, but for a while they were behind the BRE lines doing a lot. And I guess they're just taking advantage of the fact that the BRE dismounted from their horses. Might be regretting that now. It's still looking fairly even, actually, but maybe the horses, because there's still a good amount of heavily armored horsemen, maybe they're going to actually give the coalition the win this time. It's coming down to the wire here. Who do you have it on?
Ooh. I just watched BRE Ralph, I think it was, in as a spearman, just spear a cavalryman in the chest, dehorse him. It was wonderful to see. And this is the kind of thing that they're doing, is they're deploying those spearmen to kind of act as anti-cavalry, and it's proving to be quite effective. They're cutting down members of the cavalry as they come into basically close position. And yeah, as a result of that, it means that down goes another horse, crashes right in front of the melees as they come in and go charging, choppy. But yeah, it just goes to show, you know, just because you've got a large chopper doesn't mean it's going to do you any good large in battle.
No, and I can speak to that firsthand. Large chopper is not worth it. In fact, it actually, it's really hurt me in life. And trust me, it is very, very large. Incredibly large. In fact, I would use it as a medieval weapon. Are we still talking about Bardiche, by the way?
I'm not sure, but I have to also add to you that under a microscope, anything looks big.
But do you know what doesn't look big? That lead that the BRE have over the coalition anymore. It started to be closed because that was a win for that round.
It was.
For the coalition.
Okay, and we're back with the next round, hopefully. Unless... yeah, they're going to let me spawn in because my computer gets massive slowdown when everybody spawns in. So the change of a venue and all the rest of it and stuff like that, but it's just a case of the change up as far as we're concerned for the event is the fact that the coalition have won a round. Now they're 4-1 down. There's plenty of rounds still to go. So the possibility of a comeback still is within the cards. What do you think, Resident?
I agree. I mean, I don't want to take the credit for good fighting there, but I think my team talk, I think they heard it from the clouds. They heard my angry rant at how much they'd embarrassed themselves, and they bucked their ideas up. And look, I don't want to say that I am a general genius or a military savant, but actually, I think that was entirely down to me, that victory for the coalition. Don't you agree?
Well, here on Earth 1, perhaps not, but on Earth 2 where you live, yes, it's a possibility.
So what's going on right now with the BRE? What are they up to?
So you can see essentially the BRE are now moving out in all their various versions. You can see also a lot of spearmen coming out. These guys are going heavy with the spearmen because obviously they know how important it's going to be to push back the cavalry as best they can. Luon de la Cour, they are looking for the BRE with a fine crown on top of that mushroom haircut and a moustache that, yeah, just will make you scared. The moustache of command again. What can we say?
It's all about him that. My kids.
Yeah, well, you know, if with a large chopper, yeah, you probably wouldn't. So, you can now see that the Opium Prime here from BRE looks to be a banner holder and is sorting out the shield wall as the opposing shield wall comes over, as the archers continue to fire over the shield wall as it's starting to push forward from the BRE towards the coalition. The coalition could be under pressure here.
Cavalry charge coming in.
Whoa.
Head-on cavalry charge. Whoa. Now that, to me, does not seem like a decision made by a sane man. Do they have some sort of general that's just smacked his head on a wheelbarrow before that charge? Because that did not look like it was a good idea. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, it was kind of I feel it was an intimidation tactic.
Right.
But basically, it was to try and break a hole through the ranks. by just charging the cavalry straight face into them. And as a result of that, then having the shield wall and the archers follow up and clear up the mess. So it could be a bit of a suicidal charge as far as the cavalry is concerned. However, you still do have members of cavalry from the host team working away who have come in to support. They held off while that charge was done, which was smart for them because they maintained some of their number and they can use that to their advantage, Resonant.
Yeah, I think definitely the numbers seem to be faring more towards the coalition right now. I think that cavalry charge, you're right, was probably an intimidation. Whether it actually punched a wall through the... well, a hole through that wall, I don't know. I think it was close to punching a hole through their own lungs because there was so many spears ready for that. If they were going to charge anyone, surely it would not be the spear line, but it seems like whoever made that decision, well, they definitely didn't have a military tactician on their bio at this point in time. Who do you think has got the upper hand in this round then so far?
It's difficult to say because obviously you've still got the there's still a little cavalry adjutant, so to speak, sticking around, so they can still do a lot of damage in the center. So it's difficult to say whether or not that's going to be to their advantage. I would say at this current moment, BRE have the advantage. Everyone's very spread out at the moment, and it's just... so yeah, you can see, oh goodness me, I just saw a cavalryman downed by a beautiful shot from an archer. And that was just an archer who's just out in the field, and that was Pedros from SVCI, with some beautiful shots with his bow, just doing damage into a cavalryman, taking down his horse. And that's the kind of thing that they're going to have trouble with, is you can now see the remaining cavalrymen being set upon by a lot of very, very large angry people with spears. And essentially, as soon as they get dehorsed, in come the swordsman and chop them into fish bait. Resonant.
Yeah, I mean, Pedros is being called now to stay in formation, but it looks like we've got another win for the coalition. What's going on? I think it's just down to the BRE just suiciding their cavalry 2 rounds in a row, and it's really hurt them.
And we return with the next round as everybody gets ready for that. And let's talk about that last round, because that last round was obviously a follow-on from another round win for the coalition. And obviously we saw the suicidal horse charge by the BRE, which didn't really work out as they would have liked it. But it's definitely a change-up as far as they're concerned, because obviously the coalition had a lot of spear troops available because they were kind of sort of trying to adapt to the fact that the cavalry from BRE was giving them a lot of problems, Resonant.
Indeed, and it looks like the coalition's cavalry has hid off in the forest. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but they have really split apart from the rest of their army. And trying to look at the rest of that army, it looks like they aren't too heavy on spears right now. Maybe because some of them are holstered, but... oh, no, never mind. The KOH have also brought out spears, and oh my word, those banner bearers look absolutely awesome. But the coalition are being led by NATO right now, which I don't think that would be a terrible thing. And the BDCT, of course, who had some really, really good archers in that last round, Chad.
Yeah, they were fantastic, very accurate, and obviously quite punishing in that regard. So it's just a matter of where we see, because we see the cavalry from BRE floating around. They've got to be careful not to get too close. They want to support their troops, but they also don't want to get too close because they don't want to risk being wiped out. But you can see now the two forces across the field of battle starting to form up, starting to form the shield walls. And very soon, Resonant, you'll see the archer flow coming forward, and basically the bolts from the archers trying to do as much damage as possible.
Which I don't know how much they're going to be able to do at this range, and especially facing these shield walls, because, I mean, BRE or Coalition, they are both very, very experienced at forming these shield walls, and they seem to be doing a fantastic job of it. The thing that I'd be interested to see this round is what the BRE decide to do with their cavalry, because we've seen before, Chad, that they've, 1, dismounted, and 2, suicide charged, and that has given the coalition the upper hand. Do you think they do it again, or do you think they're going to stand strong this time?
Well, I'm watching Hubald de Gascony, who is basically the fine leader of the cavalry, and you can see already that they're not taking that bait that they did previously with a charge. Now, it could be, you can see now here, you've got some spearmen moving over to the left-hand side of the coalition, almost as a way to sort of counteract the flank of the coalition against a sudden charge by the BRE cavalry. So, but the trouble is, you can see now the BRE cavalry are pulling in behind, and it looks like they're going after, possibly, maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll be going after the cavalry of the coalition forces. It's difficult to tell. But you can see, look at the way that you can see now the coalition forces cavalry moving round to the right and the BRE cavalry moving round to intercept them while the two members of the battle lines meet up for a good kicking. And now you can see here, oh, look at this, the way they wheeled around and pulled into the back of the field just to do a little bit of damage to those shield men and spearmen. But the cavalry also for coalition is remaining unengaged. It's quite interesting to see while these guys fight it out on the field, the way the cavalry is circling. And there we go, the cavalry goes into the back of the coalition there. And that's a pretty intense fight. But they looks like they've literally just tried to ride through, do damage on the way, and not actually stop in any kind of serious way, President.
We seem to have some pretty good battle lines here. The coalition cavalry is kind of mirroring the BRE a bit, and they seem to have clashed and gone by. But yeah, you're right. They are continuously moving and actually just trying to keep going. Cavalry works best when it isn't stationary. Horses are fantastic when they're running, and they're not so good when they've got a spear in their gut. Now, that was taught to me by Sun Tzu, and I think the BRE also were listening in on that conversation because they seem to be using it pretty well. And I don't know if you noticed, Chad, but the first kill of this round was actually the French shooting their friendly man, which was an interesting start to a round that they need to win.
Yeah, it's not what you call the best of rounds and when it comes to that kind of thing. But looking at it at the moment now, you can see the cavalry are kind of staying to the edges of the melee crush to pick off anybody who's out there now. A lot of the green cloaked archers would stay on the outfield to try and avoid any kind of attention, and obviously to sort of group up in safety and numbers. But it's literally turning down to the remainder of the cavalry just continuing to flow into this remaining center of the melee and just chop people off to bits as quickly as they can. So I think smarter play from both cavalries. Who's going to have the advantage in numbers, do you think, Resonant?
Well, spoiler alert, I checked the scoreboard and it looks like the BRE are taking this round. They seem to have used their cavalry in the better way. And in fact, I think we've seen that as a running theme throughout. The round goes to the team that has and uses the cavalry the best. The BRE have only lost when they decided to try something different or something new. And once again, there is a victory to the BRE.
And we are back on the next round. And we are waiting for the people to get... No, they're formed up already. Bloody hell, these guys are fast. They're already into their positions. You can see all the shield men moving forward, the spearmen. Let's have a shout out for the banner holders, who literally hold the banners up high while defending themselves with just one arm. And that takes some serious bravery. And now you can see here, over by the sea flag, you can see a shield wall already formed by the members of the BRE, supported by more BRE. They're just everywhere. And now you can see the cavalry. Now you can see here Hubert de Gascony sitting around at the back here behind the shield wall. Interesting to see their cavalry taking a passive role right now. Or maybe they're having a discussion or a 1v1 discussion as to what's going to happen. So interesting. So you can see here, it's going to be like it may actually be a 1-to-1 to settle the battle. So that could be interesting to see.
Is this something you've seen many times before? A champion fighting?
Oh, look at this in the center.
Here we go.
You can see on a lot of Léon de l'Entrepade up against Flo from BDC. Oh, he's taken a shot into the chest. But look at him, he's defending himself, and it's two-handed sword versus one-handed sword. look at this.
I will say, however, there is definitely an armor advantage for the BDCT Flow Lad. Even though he has the weaker weapon, but he can take more hits.
Yeah, I mean, just look at his armor compared to his opponent. That's just...
Oh, it doesn't matter though. And that is not chivalrous. How can they do that? You lose the duel and you get slaughtered. I don't know if I'm on board with this. The battle has commenced, Chad. This seems like an unorthodox way of battling. Have you seen this treachery before?
I have, yes. Let's just say honor and all's the combat, so to speak, is not actually well known in the Mountain Blade community. Let's just say, opportunities to murder people are usually not passed over.
I think it's very safe to say this round is, well, there is no front line. There is no formations. We do have the BRE cavalry that are circling, and of course the host cavalry are circling as well. But in terms of the infantry, everybody is just everywhere. You can see blue shields scattered. You can see yellow shields scattered. Bannermen are just nowhere near their unit. Chad, I think this has to be the most hectic of all the rounds so far.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I mean, obviously it started in a rather unorthodox way, and it's probably going to end in a very unorthodox way. But also, I'm locking in on some of the bannermen Gil there, who was holding the banner. He's now lost the banner. His teammates picked up the banner to hold it, and he's trying to fight off people as they're trying to take the banner from him. But yeah, the cavalry continue to sort of poke around the edges and sort of clear up any sort of stragglers that have been left. And yeah, it's a knotty situation as far as they're concerned. So it's just looking at the spearmen in the sort of the main melee crush that you've got here. That's that's Clovis, who's holding onto the flag, doing a fantastic job with the. He just took an arrow to the yes. Oh, that was just brutal. Poor Clovis suffered from commentator's curse. As soon as we spectated him, he got killed. So we're just having a look at some of the other banner holders. Gosh, mate, from BRE, and so you can see.
Not very armored up, gosh, mate.
no, he's not. He's
playing on hard difficulty.
It's definitely fair to say, yeah. He's wearing his summer clothing, but you can see now the banner still continues. Some horses sort of wandering away. What's going on is Gilles Hermel,
there's another duel going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the cavalry over towards the center of the map have decided, never mind.
Okay.
Palmyran have slaughtered him, and yeah. Okay, we're going into the last round, I think.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, with the last round of today's event. And it's been a belter so far, wouldn't you agree, Resonant?
Do you know what? This is my first Bannerlord event, like proper event. I've just kind of put it off for a long time as I fell in love with events in Warband, and I just didn't know if Bannerlord could really hold up to that and whether the community was the same. But this surpasses everything that I played in Warband in terms of the look. The armor is gorgeous. The way people play is just much more entertaining. I think it looks like it's evolved way more than what Warband did, which is nice to see the community evolving with the games itself, Chad.
Definitely. I mean, it's great to see, and a shout out to the BRE for the mod that they made to give you all these incredibly looking armors and shields and banners and everything. The amount of attention to detail that they show for just the pure entertainment of being able to march out in such a wonderful piece of equipment and then get slaughtered in front of your friends.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a very quick round here because the two armies are formed up very close, and well, the BDCT, I think that is, yeah, they're
getting a bit fruity, aren't they?
They are looking down the enemy through the slits in their helmet, but right up close. And Cuphead is at the start of the BRE force. He is leading today. He's an interesting looking fella. I mean, in terms of this game and today's event, do you think the Coalition could have taken this if they'd carried on the direction they were going, or do you think their wins were just down to the BRE being, well, stupid?
Obviously, I think, the suicidal cavalry charge would be a negative point as far as the BRE were concerned. But I think it's distinctly possible maybe 2 or 3 rounds the coalition would have got back before the BRE adapted and changed their strategy, which obviously they have the advantage of single organization.
Well, it looks like not much is going on. Everybody's kind of just forming in the middle. I don't know if we're going to have another duel. Oh, yeah, we are. A champion has been sent forward from both sides. And Palmerin, are you going to be the champion for BRE? I don't know. It seems like everybody wants to be a champion, but oh my word. Sir Alex from the CL, he has got antlers on his helmet. He has to be the champion. He looks like the most elite. But what he is actually doing is fighting the same guy that won the last duel. So that's going to be an interesting turn of events. And this duel is about to get underway. I don't know whether we're going to have a different result here, but some arrows have flown. And okay, the duel is not going ahead. It looks like it's more of a group fighting competition here, with the BRE and, well, the coalition picking about 7 or 8 people of their own just to see where this goes. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't have high hopes for the coalition, but it looks like they're actually doing a better job. So on a single basis, maybe they are the superior fighters over the BRE. But you're right, Chad. I think the BRE is just there. The way that they form lines, the way that they help each other out because they're part of their own clan. It looks like that is their way to take and win battles.
Yeah, and that can make such a massive difference if you've got a large force, easily organised, various different sort of regiments. You know, in a single coalition, make for a difficult, less easy to control. So yeah, it's good to see. So
it seems like that has finished that group fighting event, and the coalition have actually won it. I'm so sad that you missed this. This was quite cool. The final charge of both teams going into the middle, and we could look at this as, oh yeah, another win for coalition maybe, but I'm thinking this is probably going to go towards the BRE. I think every round that the coalition has won has mostly been down to the negligence or just the throwing it of the BRE rather than them actually being the better side, which is unfortunate because, I know, it would be nice to see a bit more of an even fight, and sometimes there were, and the cavalry, I think, for me, I don't know about you, Chad, but for me, the BRE cavalry have been the best force in this. They're the best detachment that I think have made the biggest difference. What do you think?
I would definitely agree with that. Obviously, aside from the tactical burp, which we will consider from the suicidal charge, generally they have been, I would say, probably the most influential on the outcomes of the battle. Their timing, aside from the charge, have been generally pretty good. They sort of skirted around the edges to try and take out any of the remaining people, and as a result of that, it's given them their teammates an advantage, which they were able to push home. And unfortunately, even though the coalition cavalry kind of, you could say they sharpened up a little bit towards the end, they were starting to just not be pulled in and engaged. They were literally doing the same sort of thing as BRE. Meant that over the course of time, there could have been a little bit more flattening out with respect to the two cavalries taking each other out.
Indeed. That is another win. The final win to the BRE, it is 7-2. That was an absolutely brilliant event. I'm sorry that you didn't get to see too much of that, but trust me, it was good.
Well, you know, what can we say? I'll watch it on your video.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I don't know if you have anything to say at the end, Jen.
Not really, other than thank you to all the regiments and all the people involved with this kind of event that make it such an enjoyable event. You know, you keep the community going. This is what we're here for. Thank you for everyone.
All right, make sure you go and check out Chad's YouTube channel. It will be in the description below. But until then, guys, I will see you next time.